Have you ever been caught off guard when a younger woman looks you straight in the eye and says, "You're too old for me"? It feels like a punch to the gut, doesn't it? Like every ounce of confidence you've built over the years evaporates in a single moment. Too many men over 40 freeze up right there, stumbling over their words, over-explaining, or worse, shrinking back into doubt. You start to wonder, am I really just too old? You replay the moment later, feeling embarrassed and convinced you have lost your edge. But here's the truth. Her comment isn't the final verdict on your worth. It's a test of your composure. A subtle invitation to show whether you're the kind of man who lets age define you or the kind who wears it like a badge of honor. In this video, I'll reveal two simple, powerful tactics you can use to transform rejection into attraction, so you never again feel cornered by that question. And instead, you project the maturity, humor, and unshakable confidence that make age irrelevant. Because judging others yields absolutely no improvement. Mindfulness always takes real awareness. And navigating social changes requires intentional persistence too. Ready to discover how? Let's get started. Imagine this. She tilts her head, smiles faintly and says, "You're too old for me." Instantly, your mind races to defend yourself. You feel the urge to say, "But I'm really active for my age," or "It's only a 10-year gap." That's explainer mode, and it's one of the fastest ways to drain the energy out of an interaction. But take a step back and look deeper. When you start rationalizing your age, you're unconsciously broadcasting insecurity. You're telling her that you need her approval to feel worthy, and whether you realize it or not, that neediness makes you look smaller in her eyes. Now picture how different it feels when you simply let her comment pass without justification. You stand there relaxed, as if she'd just mentioned the weather, because when you don't rush to explain, you show unshakable self-acceptance. It's the quiet strength that so many younger men haven't yet developed, and that's exactly why it's so magnetic. It signals you're a man who knows his value isn't up for debate. You have nothing to prove, and that alone makes you stand out. In that moment, you prove you're not rattled by superficial objections. You're steady, composed, and impossible to fluster. Remember, just overthinking yields avoidance. New ideas make actions. Thoughtful reflection allows natural strength. Clarity really improves persistence today. So the next time you hear that line, resist the impulse to explain. Instead, hold her gaze, smile, and let your quiet confidence speak volumes. Because that's how you turn a test into a moment of undeniable attraction. Now let's talk about the second trap, freezing up when you hear those words. She says, "You're too old for me," and suddenly your mind goes blank. You feel like a spotlight just clicked on, exposing every hidden doubt you've ever carried about your age. And so you stand there silent, hoping the moment will pass. But here's the hard truth. That silence doesn't make you look mysterious. It makes you look rattled. It shows you're unprepared, uncomfortable, and unsure how to handle a little pushback. Think about it. When a younger woman throws out that line, she's often testing to see if you'll crumble or stay composed. Freezing up signals that her words hit a nerve. It tells her you're so worried about being rejected that you can't even respond. And nothing kills attraction faster than visible self-doubt. Instead, you need to stay engaged. Take a breath, keep your body relaxed, and meet her eyes. Let a small, knowing smile cross your face. This simple reaction shows you're steady under pressure and that you're not taking her comment personally. That's the hallmark of a man with real presence. Remember, when you don't flinch, you prove you're different from the men who would let a single sentence derail their confidence. You become the man she can't help but respect, and the one she wants to know more about. Keep this in mind. Every moment of tension is a chance to demonstrate calm strength. Here's another reaction that instantly sabotages your presence: getting defensive or snapping back. Picture this. She says, "You're too old for me," and you feel your jaw tighten. Maybe you shoot back with, Wow, that's shallow. Good luck finding someone perfect. In that instant, you think you're standing up yourself, but all she sees is a man who's easily provoked. Defensiveness is just insecurity in disguise. It screams that her words got under your skin, that you crave her validation, and that you can't handle lighthearted banter without losing your composure. When you react with frustration or sarcasm, you're proving her point. That age has made you brittle, not better. Imagine instead that you take her comment in stride. You nod slightly as if she's made a harmless observation about the color of your shoes. That subtle indifference flips the dynamic completely. Rather than looking like you need to convince her of your worth, you show you're already certain of it. Remember, your emotional control's the foundation of your attraction. When you stay calm, you communicate something powerful. No comment can shake your sense of self. That's why defensive men fade into the background, while confident men rise above. So the next time you feel irritation creeping in, breathe deeply and let it pass. Because in that moment, she's not rejecting you. She's revealing exactly how you can stand out. Now let's move into the first tactic you can use to turn that awkward moment into an instant connection, playing it off casually. Imagine she looks at you with a teasing grin and says, "You're too old for me." Instead of explaining or freezing, you simply smirk and reply, "Yeah, sure," as if she just told you something obvious. Then without missing a beat, you steer the conversation right back to whatever you were discussing, your favorite travel destinations, a funny story, or the cocktail menu. This response does something crucial. It shows her you're not taking her comments seriously, and you're certainly not taking it personally. You're displaying the hallmark of a high-value man, unshakable composure. You're signaling that you're not threatened by her words and you don't feel the need to prove anything. Picture it happening in real life. You're standing by the bar, she throws out her little test, and you handle it like it's nothing. The energy shifts immediately. She realizes you're not the type to get rattled. Instead of feeling tension, she feels curiosity, and often genuine attraction. Remember, when you play it off casually, you're demonstrating the kind of maturity and emotional strength that sets you apart. Because nothing is more attractive to a younger woman than a man who can handle a challenge with relaxed confidence. This is your chance to show her that age isn't your weakness, it's your advantage. Now let's look at the second tactic, agreeing and exaggerating. This approach uses humor to turn her comment into a playful moment. She says, "You're too old for me," and you lean in with a twinkle in your eye and say, "You're absolutely right. I'm so old I used to babysit dinosaurs." Then you chuckle and keep the conversation moving forward. Why does this work so well? Because it shows you don't take yourself or her little test too seriously. You're not denying your age. You're owning it, amplifying it, and making it a shared joke. In that moment, you're demonstrating three qualities women find irresistible: self-assurance, humor, and emotional composure. Picture the scene. You're sitting across from her at a cafe. She tries to tease you about the age gap, and instead of acting wounded or defensive, you deliver a playful exaggeration that makes her laugh. That one response diffuses any tension and replaces it with a spark of connection. When you can turn what's meant to be a barrier into an opportunity for shared humor, you're proving you're not intimidated by her tests. You're showing her you're the kind of man who embraces his age with confidence and knows how to have fun. And that, more than anything, is what makes you unforgettable. Finally, let's talk about the mindset that ties everything together: maintaining positive energy. No matter what she says about your age, your job is to keep the interaction light, playful, and relaxed. Because here's the truth: if you let her comment pull you into negativity, the connection dies on the spot. Imagine this: she says, "You're too old for me," and you meet her eyes with a calm smile. You respond with a little humor or casual indifference, And then you shift the conversation back to something engaging. Your energy stays steady, you never flinch. And that, right there, is the moment she starts to feel intrigued. Think about how rare it is to meet someone who doesn't need to defend himself or prove a point. When you project this easygoing confidence, you become the man who can handle anything without breaking stride. You become the man who feels comfortable in his own skin, who has nothing to hide and nothing to apologize for. This is the energy that makes younger women feel drawn to you, even when they tease you about age. It's the energy that says, I know exactly who I am, and I like it. Remember, judging others yields absolutely no improvement. Mindfulness always takes real awareness. Navigating social changes requires intentional persistence too. So no matter what she throws your way, choose to stay positive, because that choice is the difference between being forgettable and being the man she remembers long after the night ends. Let's bring all of this together. You've just learned how to transform a comment that makes most men crumble, "You're too old for me," into your secret advantage. By avoiding explainer mode, you show you don't need to justify yourself. By staying calm and never freezing up, you reveal the unshakable presence that only experience can teach. When you refuse to get defensive, you demonstrate the emotional maturity that sets you apart from younger men. And when you respond with humor or relaxed indifference, you prove you're the kind of man who owns his story and makes no apologies for it. Remember, younger women are drawn to men who don't flinch under pressure. They're intrigued by men who can smile in the face of tests and keep their energy positive. When you show that your age is an asset, not a liability, you create an entirely different dynamic. You become the man who radiates maturity, calmness, and charm without trying too hard. This isn't about pretending or performing. It's about stepping into the quiet power you already have. So the next time someone challenges you with that line, remember you're not just older, you're better. And that's exactly why she won't forget you. Now it's your turn to put this into practice. The next time a younger woman tests you with that line, don't freeze, don't explain, and don't get defensive. Instead, smile, stay relaxed, and choose the response that feels natural, whether it's playful exaggeration or casual indifference. You'll be amazed at how quickly the dynamic shifts in your favor when you show you're comfortable with exactly who you are. And remember, just overthinking yields avoidance. New ideas make actions. Thoughtful reflection allows natural strength. Clarity really improves persistence today. So take that first step. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and join a community of men who are ready to elevate every part of their lives. Because confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you create starting right now.